Hello, Pure Inspiration family. This is Khadijah Grant coming to you live from my balcony. I actually am really excited to be talking to you tonight. Today, we're actually going to talk about simple ways for you to be motivated, or just motivation, right? In general, simple ways to motivate you so that you can actually go to where you want to go. Pure and simple. So I want to tell you who I am. I am Khadijah Grant. I am the founder of Pure Inspiration, a women's empowerment company to help women to thrive, to have unstoppable confidence, to build a fortune of abundance in every area of your life, and to really just create cash flow in your business. And in order to do that, we got to get clarity, right? So I'm moving in a direction where I want to make sure that every woman that has a business or is wanting to start a business has the tools that they need in order for them to thrive and actually make money in their business and be in a heart-centered place. So for me, I actually, I'm going to just talk to you about this topic that we're talking about. But as I do it, I want to tell you a little bit about me. There was a time in my life that I went through this major challenge, and I've talked about it on some of my other videos. I'm not going to go into that, but I do want to say that at that time, it was such a deep level of pain for me. And I was actually called by spirit. I was doing meditation, I was prayer, and I was working on myself, and I was learning how to heal myself. And at the time, I didn't really understand that my path was really a path of healer, that I'm a healer, and that I had to kind of go through these things in order for me to really understand on a really deep, empathetic level how to really help people. And so when you've been through something, and when you are helping others, it helps you so much if you really have been there and you understand. And so I had gone through this big challenge, and as I was going through this process, something was given to me spiritually, was that I was to develop this women's healing circle. And so I started with that. I actually developed a women's healing circle, and at the time I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I had the ability to be able to create that because I was in this deep pain space. But one thing that I understood at that time in my life is that I needed to listen to what inspiration I was getting, and that there was a reason, that there was going to be a reason that everything would connect. And so I listened, even though I was like, I don't know what to do. Show me what to do. And everything that I needed actually showed up. And so I'm telling you that because I developed this women's healing circle, which then turned into a bigger community of women. And it started for me in a pain space. But Spirit called me the things that I had learned in my healing to actually teach others. And so that became a movement. I remember I had an event that came to me. It's called the Journey of Light, and you can find this online. But it's called the Journey of Light. And at the time, I didn't have employment. I really didn't have money. I was unemployed, but I knew that I was being called to create this empowerment evening for women, and I didn't know how to do it. But I was like, okay, I have to listen. And I listened, and I was like, okay, what is my next right move? And so my motivation was my why, right? I wanted to help women that were in that same space or a similar space of where I had been, for them to be able to elevate. And so this event actually came to be, and all the pieces came together in a lot of different ways. And there's a video on YouTube about it, so you can watch that. That actually not only supported my own healing, but supported other women's healing. And I just want to say that if you can follow these simple tips that I'm going to give you right now, to stay motivated, your dreams and the things that you want can become a reality. So let me start with one. One is understand what your why is. What is your why? What are you passionate about? What, if you have a business, what is the business for? Like, what do you want to do? Because it has to come from a place of passion, you know, because that is what's going to keep you going when you feel like something isn't working, right? And so you have to really be centered in your why. What's your why? And then the other thing is, once you know your why, like, it can't, let me just say this, your why can't be about somebody else. It has to be something that's a driving force in you, because when things aren't working, that why will push you and propel you forward. And so it's really important that you get clear on what's your why, because that's where the passion is, that's where it lies. The other thing you need to do is define what your goal is. What is it that you want, and define it. And so when I was creating this women's empowerment evening, my goal was to empower women and for women to come together and be in union with each other, be empowered and inspired to move forward on their journey, and that their journey was really a journey of light, and that it was okay no matter where they were, right? At that point in their life, that it was okay, but that there was something there for them, that everything that showed up was there to teach them something. And me, right? Like I always say, as I speak to you, I speak to myself. So you want to be really centered in your why, and then you want to define what your goal is. The next thing is you want to have a clear vision of that. You want to see it almost using all of your senses: touch, taste, right? Smell, like all of your senses. What is the clear vision of the thing, right? So if you have this vision of taking your family on a vacation to the Bahamas, like, okay, what are you guys going to be doing? Are you going to be sitting on a beach? What color is the sand, right? Like, what color is the water? What are you wearing? What is your family wearing? You know, is somebody bringing drinks to you? You have an umbrella up, like really detailed about what that vision is. If it's for your business, what does it look like? Are you working a lot of hours? Are you working, not very much so you can have more time with your loved ones? Well, what does that look like? You have a home office, you have an office somewhere else, you have other people doing some of the work, you have systems in place that actually help you so that you don't have to devote 90 hours a week to your business, so you can actually be with the people that you love. So, clear vision. Next, you want to have a plan. So once you have a clear vision, you may not know the how, and that's okay, beloved. It's okay not to know the how you're going to get somewhere. But what you do need to do is, when you get inspiration, you need to follow that. This is how it works. This is the secret. You get one step at a time. One step at a time. So there's going to be, it's like building a wall with bricks. You're going to get one brick at a time, and then eventually that's going to become a wall. Sometimes what happens, we get so overwhelmed with thinking about, oh my God, I got to build this big wall. But actually you don't. You just have to do one thing at a time. So if you are looking like I was to build this women's empowerment evening at the time that I started, I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know how much it would cost, and I didn't have any money. So I was like, okay, so I don't know how it's gonna come to fruition, but I will tell you that it did. My first step was really defining what it was that I wanted, and that's what I'm asking you to do. What is your why? I knew the why. I had to define my goal, right? And then I also had to have a clear vision for what that looked like. And then once I did that, I was able to get other pieces. So that was part of the plan. The other thing you want to do to keep yourself motivated is to create a routine around the thing you say you want. So, it's not enough to say you want to be a writer, right? I've been there. I'm a best-selling author. but it took me a long time to write a book. And I just sat on the bench. Oh, I kept telling people, I'm gonna write a book. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I wasn't writing. So if you're a writer, you have to write, right? Even if it's just 10 minutes a day, you have to create a routine around the thing you want, which brings me to another one is, you have to chunk it, chunk by chunk by chunk. If you take 15 minutes a day to work towards something, it's going to start to create that wall that we just talked about. It's brick by brick. So you don't have to have it all right now, beloved, but you have to have a new approach to getting things done. And I'll talk more on another video about goal setting and like really the details of how to chunk things. You want to have a timeline. You want to set time for what it is that you are going to accomplish. So that's another tip, right? So you're going to have a timeline like, okay, so by this date, I'm going to do this. And then you kind of like work backwards, right? So if you know you have a 6-month plan, maybe that's too far in advance for you. That's okay. Let's do 30 days. For the next 30 days, for 3 days a week, I'm going to commit to what? You can do that. Get organized around that and break it up into small, bite-sized steps. Sometimes we look at the kind of like the universal picture of what we want. Oh, I want this grand thing. And we start to get overwhelmed because we think about, oh my God, that's so much. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. But you only have to do one step at a time. It all adds up to something. The next thing is, we talked about creating a timeline and deadlines. Let me say this. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to other people, because we don't know what their push-ups are. And that isn't going to help you. So beloved, stay in your own lane. Create by chunking the things that you want and not looking at other people. Because what happens when we start to look at other people, we get envious, like you don't have to be Oprah, right? You only have to be you. You have a clear path to your destiny, a purpose, and it's important for you to be okay with that. And you don't have to be anybody else. And you know what? One more thing, one more nugget. I know I'm giving some nuggets. One more nugget. You don't have to care about what other people think. Because ultimately, like track, you're in your own lane and they're in their own lane. The way we are on the planet is we're here to have our own joyful experience. And when we take the time to look over here and over there, it actually doesn't help us to focus inward, right? In that heart-centered space of where your spirit is taking you. And it's always perfectly aligned when we're here, right? That heart-centered space actually will drive you to where you want to go. And so I just want to tell you, beloved, that you can do this for yourself. You can use some of these steps to get really clear and motivated to actually move forward. Don't overthink it. Don't get overwhelmed. It's one step at a time. Your first step is, what is your why? Why are you doing a particular thing? And stay centered and rooted in that. Because as you go forward in life, no matter what circumstance is happening around you, you can stay rooted in, this is my why and this is my goal. So do I need to give my attention over here, or should I give my attention back to the thing that I say that I want? Second, have a clear vision of that. See it as much as you can taste it. visualize it. Hopefully you guys are meditating. I'll do a video on meditation, but visualize and see it, because everything begins with a vision. You know, the building that I'm sitting in right now was a vision for somebody, right? And now it is fruition. It has come to fruition. And so that can happen for you too. The next thing is create a plan. And you don't have to know all the different steps. If you ask the how, the universe will give you one step at a time. And you will feel a pull to that step. Because when we don't take action, the pull still is there. And it just continues to pull at you until you do it. So the next is really just chunking things, creating a timeline for when you're going to do something. And you can start with the short timeline, and it doesn't have to be a lot of time. Once you start to see yourself being successful at the small things, something will happen. Momentum. It will take off, and you will see yourself being successful, and it will literally change the way you think about yourself. The last thing I want to do is tell you that you should write down what you get. Write it down, what you get, so you're clear about that. And then put that on a timeline and chunk it. Your why is what's going to drive you. And so as I end this video, I really want to just say, I know that this can be difficult. People have a lot of fear. They may not have as much confidence that they can do this, but I want you to know that you can. And if you need support, I am here to support you. You do not have to do this alone. If you want more support around your why and your goal, drop me a DM, drop me a direct message, and let's get on a call and let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you a lot of value in the next videos that I make in this group, and I'm so looking forward to seeing more of you. As I end, I have a question for you. What thing do you do that keeps you motivated? So tell me in the thread, what keeps you motivated, right? Really important. I'd like to know. Thank you for being on. I see you, Sandra. Thank you for being on with me tonight. I'm looking forward to doing more and more of these videos. Please drop in the chat the question, what thing do you do to keep yourself motivated? All right, signing off, your sister and pure inspiration. Take care until next time.